Good morning, brothers and sisters, and all my friends. This morning we are going to start our work of co-creation. Last 3 days we have established the cosmic responsibility which comes with our karma of thought, word, and the deed. And as we know that there is universal interconnectedness, so through our thought, word, and deed, we create an event and a happening which will have universal implications, universal effect. So we are responsible for every word, every thought, and every deed. So as we have established our responsibility, cosmic responsibility at the personal level, then at the level of parents, and at the level of our community, national or global leaders. This morning we are going to start our work of co-creation. And let me tell you, my brothers and sisters, that human eye is the instrument of co-creation. And we are going to talk about the mystery of the human eye. In the ancient tradition, wisdom tradition of ancient India, the Rishi, can we imagine those times? There's a Rishi on a rock meditating, and after the conclusion of his meditations, he prays for the universal welfare. And he's sitting in the middle of the dense jungle full of wild animals, and he's not certain what will happen to him next moment, or some wild animal will come and make him food. But he's not worried about anything, because he knows, and he just stayed fast on his dharma of co-creation. He just stayed fast on dharma of truth. And he knows that I'm here to help, to contribute to the universal evolution. So he's not worried about his personal safety, and he's sitting in the middle of the dense jungle. And after conclusion of his meditation, he prays. And let me recall those beautiful words and beautiful mantra, what he says. And this is somewhere thousands and thousands of years back in the human history. And he says, Sarva bhavantu sukhina, sarva santu niramaya, sarva bhadrani pasyantu, ma kaschit dukh bhag bhavet. He prays that let all the worlds and all the universes be happy. Let all the sentient beings be happy and healthy, and they come out of the illusion of Maya, the grand illusion. And then comes the work he's doing. And then he says, Sarva Bhadrani Pasyantu. Let everybody see the good in everyone. Sarva Bhadrani Pasyantu. Let me see the good in everybody. सब में शुभ को देखें. Let us all see the good in everyone. That is the definition of co-creation. The co-creation which is universally beneficial, universally benevolent. Sarva Bhadrani Pashyantu. Let everybody see good in everyone. That's where he starts. That's where he begins his co-creation. And then he says, Ma kaschit dukh bhag bhavet. Sarva Bhadrani Pashyantu. Let everybody see the good in everyone. Ma kaschit dukh bhag bhavet. Then where is the dukkha? Where is the trouble? Where is the suffering? There is no suffering. If we all could have those beautiful Bhadra Eye, the eye of Bhadra, the eye of Shiva, because Shiva is the embodiment of universal welfare, and there are no judgments. Everyone is good, everyone is contributing to the universe. So, make a resolution that let us see good in everyone. And by doing this, by establishing the bottom line of our character, the way we look at the world, the way we look at the universe, we have begun the work of co-creation. To make it beautiful, to make this universe full of love and compassion, to make this universe full of justice, equality, and no judgments whatsoever. No judgments. So he says, Sarva bhavantu sukhina, sarva santu niramaya, sarva bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukh bhag bhavet. And then I want to remind you the teachings of Lord Krishna. When he says in Bhagwat Gita, now the first one was the first stage of building the bottom line of the character, that the Rishi decides and he makes a firm resolution that I'm going to be the steadfast on the dharma of truth, and I'm going to see the good in everybody. No judgments whatsoever. So he begins there. And now the second stage of co-creation. And that is declared by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, the divine song. And what he says? Lord Krishna says, Atmavat sarva bhutesu ye pasati sa pandita. The one who can see all the sentient beings in his own heart and himself in their hearts. The one who can see himself in the hearts of every sentient being, everyone's heart, and himself in their heart and themselves in my heart. Atmavat sarva bhutesu ye pashyati. The one who has that eye, ye pashyati. Atmavat sarva bhutesu. The one who could see himself in others and others in himself. Atmavat sarva bhutesu. Ye pashyati. The one who has that eye, who has that Bhadra Eye, the eye of the mirror. That's the definition of mirror neurons, by the way, if you want to check it out in any dictionary or any frontier science conclusions. That's exactly what it is, the meaning of mirror neurons and the origin of empathy, universal empathy. Atmavat sarva bhutesu ye pashyati sa pandita. The one who has that eye, the benevolent eye, the Bhadra Eye, he is the only pandit. He is the only educated one. Or rather, I would like to add it like this. The one who has that eye, Bhadra Eye, the benevolent eye, the universally good eye, who sees good in everybody, who sees everybody in his heart and himself in their hearts, and feel the pain and suffering and their love and compassion in his own heart. He's the only educated one. I would like to say it this way. Atmavat sarva bhutesu ye pashati. The one who has that eye, ye pashati, sa dvija. He is the only twice born. Instead of saying pandita, I would like to say here, ye pashati, sa dvija. He is the twice born. He is the only twice born. He is the only pandit. The born of the furnace of wisdom. So my dear friends and brothers and sisters, that was the tradition of ancient India. The great civilization on earth, which is based on universal empathy and love. And let me remind you again that it was practiced steadfastly, this dharma of universal empathy, the Vaishnava bhava, so much so to the extremes that let me remind you, in the medieval times, somewhere around 18th century, early 19th century, that close, that contemporary, more than 500 plus people sacrificed their own lives to save the trees. And their limbs were chopped, yet they didn't leave. And they sacrificed their lives just to save trees. What a resolution of the human mind and the human heart, and what an example of the universal empathy, Vaishnava bhava. So the great civilization which is based on Vaishnava bhava, the universal empathy, India, the greatest civilization. I pay my respects to this great civilization based on Vaishnava bhava, the universal empathy, because if we don't practice the universal empathy, then our eyes will be clouded with so much content. We have to clean up our act of looking at the universe. And how we do that? To start with the universal empathy. The time you have this bottom line of universal empathy, the way you look at the world, the universe, with the benevolent eyes, my dear friends, you clean up lots of content what we carry on our shoulders. The burden of the content. Because what happens, that when we have too much content on our head, we become very judgmental. We judge everything because the content is pushing to give you different dimension, which is detrimental to this great dharma of truth, the universal empathy, because we know for sure that the whole universe is made out of universal cooperation, not competition, not judgments, but innocent cooperation. And so much so that I would like to recall that even our body, what we have today, thank God that there had been the great benevolent, universally loving and compassionate bacteria who lodged into every human cell. They are living in every human cell and processing the oxygen and giving us the chemical currency ATP, adenosine triphosphate, to make the energy available for our work, for our movements, and for our processing. Our CPU works because of those bacteria. Our digestion works because of the bacteria who live in our gut. And believe me, my brothers and sisters, they are more than our own selves. Many times, trillions, they are greater mass than our own. So universal cooperation. So that's the bottom line for our universal empathy. Atma Bhadra Sarva Bhutesu Yeh Pashati Se Pandita. The one who has that eye, the mirror neurons, the mirror inside the heart, that I could see everybody in my heart, and I see myself in their heart. Atma Bhadra Sarva Bhutesu Yeh Pashati. The one who could see like this is the only pandit. He is the only Dvaj, the twice born. Thank you very much, and have a very, very beautiful day. And thanks for your patience, my brothers and sisters. Thank you.